I do want to finish the story. 13 days after they do this parody, we have, Fall Brawl 1997. And in the main event, it's a War Games match, of course. And on one side, we've got the Horsemen, and on the other side, we've got the NWO. And the Horsemen are represented by Ric Flair, Curt, Mongo McMichael, and Chris Benoit. On the NWO side, it's Kevin Nash, Six, Buff Bagwell, and Conan. And of course, as many folks remember, this goes down in Winston-Salem, and Curt would wind up turning on the Horsemen in this match. And afterwards, he would smash Rick's head in the cage door, joining the NWO. And you had said that, the reality is you thought Curt was going to be a Horseman. When did you find out? No, it's just going to be a swerve and a way for him to join the NWO.
That day, the day it happened. Let me just ask you this. What would have happened long term as far as the strength of the company if Curt accepted that role? They went into War Games, which the Horsemen had more experience than anybody. And let's just say the Horsemen won that night, and you gave the audience that one night some retribution, because pretty much the NWO had dominated WCW for a couple years at that point?
Yeah. At that point, they had been on top for well over a year.
What would you have thought as a fan if finally they had their day and Curt got the win? And the New Horseman thing was not only a good idea of mine, it paid some dividends. Well, now you put them on equal footing, if only for one night with the NWO. You could have probably drawn some money going forward. But when you had Curt turn on the Horsemen and shove it up their ass, the reason we were going to make Curt a Horseman in the first place is because he wasn't being used worth a damn, to be honest with you. And we thought if we got him with us and we got him in that mix and we got that performance level on TV every week that Curt had, I mean, he was a fantastic performer. You got him out, got him in that mix, then it would just breathe life into Curt because he wasn't being used a position worth of shit at the time. That was the intention of it, and it would strengthen up the Horsemen because if I was coming back, it was going to be a long time, and if I didn't make it back, it would just strengthen their performance level. Let's just say they won that night. You think that might have jumped business a little bit? You think that might have paid a few dividends? And I'm asking you as a fan at that time.
No, of course. The way they did it, Meltzer and other experts have said that this angle effectively killed Winston-Salem for good as a wrestling town for WCW, and the WWE doesn't exactly draw gangbusters there right now either. But Arn and I are looking forward to coming to Winston-Salem. And if you haven't already, go pick up your tickets. We're going to be there WrestleCade weekend. Of course, that's right after Thanksgiving. WrestleCade's got a big wrestling card set up that night. And at the conclusion of the matches, you'll be able to check out Arn and myself for the very first time, the very first live Arn show. And you can pick up your tickets right now at arnshowlive.com. That's ARN, arnshowlive.com. They're just 30 something bucks, but you get your chance to pick the brain of the founder of the Four Horsemen, as I get to every week. So make plans to join us in Winston-Salem, and we'll talk about this and lots of other Horseman business. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. I feel like, it's effectively the end of the Horsemen for a long time as well, because I think most people know that Flair was using the head being slammed into the cage as a reason for him to cover up having surgery. The next day we would see footage of that surgery to open Monday Nitro, and a very emotional Tony Schiavone would explain what had happened. In reality, Flair's getting a facelift. It's an excuse for him to be off TV. He's going to butt heads with Eric Bischoff, and he'll spend the majority of 1998 off the air until September 12th of 1998, when Flair comes back to WCW. And once again, it's another fabulous Arn Anderson promo that brings him back. In hindsight, when you see that, you had this really special moment in television history that fans still talk about, the My Spot promo, and 1 week later they mock it, and 3 weeks later, everything that your promo was about was for fucking nothing. Curt joins the NWO. Do you feel disrespected, upset, or is it just business as usual and on to the next town?
Well, I just look at it again. We're all Monday morning quarterbacks. You know, I look at it just, here's the A and here's the B of it. A, Horsemen have one night where they do the unthinkable. They upset the NWO in their match, in their town, in front of their fans, because that's clearly a Horseman country town. No doubt. You go ahead and you strengthen that unit with those guys, which Curt would have been able to do. That's your A choice. B, you have the new guy who ain't over yet, and that's saying that about Curt Hennig not being over yet. It feels stupid coming out of my mouth, but like I said, he hadn't been used properly. He wasn't hot at the time. To have him destroy Rick and walk away, now you leave as Horseman Mongo, Chris Benoit, versus a triumphant Mongo, Chris Benoit, Ric Flair, and the newest Horseman, Curt. Give them a couple of weeks to go out and say, hey, we did the right thing. Double A, you were right. He is the fucking guy. Now you have competition for not only all the baby faces and all the WCW guys, you've got somebody hot enough to work with the NWO where they're going to put some butts in seats. I ask you, if you're a Monday morning booker, which one looks more pleasant to you if you got to write those shows every week? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sort of wrestling 101 to have, you know, if you do have the heels come in and quote, get the heat so much, you've got to have a comeback for the baby face. And effectively there's no payoff, you know, there's no retribution. There's no return because, you're gone and Curt's not here to save the day and Flair's out afterwards as well. So, what Winston-Salem was looking for that night, they didn't get, but hopefully they'll get what they're looking for. WrestleCade weekend. Come see Arn and myself, arnshowlive.com. Let's put a bow on this week's episode, man. Anything else you want to address or talk about with this famous My Spot promo? This is probably, the biggest platform you've had to talk about it. And, it's one of the most famous pieces of business you ever did in your career. You want to put a cherry on top with any last words about it?
Well, I think I've probably vented enough on that subject, but I will say this. I was walking in around Harris Teeter the first time I saw Rick after his surgery. I came around the corner and I said, my God, what the hell is Joan Rivers doing in Harris Teeter, for God's sakes? He talking about having your shit stretched tight. My God, I'd say he had a facelift.
Well, we appreciate the facelift that you've helped us give Westwood One here.